Hey guys, this is just a quick video to walk you through some stuff about artificial intelligence. So AI is really interesting. I use it for lots of things. It gives good feedback on, how to update materials and stuff. So I'm definitely not anti-AI. I'm curious how we're going to learn to use it better, and we're just very curious about how the future with it is going to go. But also, in English class, composition class particularly, the whole point is learning to write, and we have to be careful about how we use AI. So I'm going to show you, so here's the AI module. I will probably maybe add stuff to this if there are some resources that I think will be useful for how to use it, or how not to use it on your papers. I will post those here and give you an announcement. So first of all, I want us to look at this characteristics of AI composition. So AI, and I'm just looking at ChatGPT here. There are other ones that write a little bit better, but AI composition always kind of sounds the same because it's just the average of all the stuff that the artificial intelligence has been trained on. So it doesn't have a particular perspective. Here we go. It doesn't have a particular perspective, it all kind of sounds exactly the same. It's very formulaic. I actually used AI to help me create this handout thing. So characteristics of AI composition. So this guide will help you identify some common characteristics. These are a lot of the characteristics that I'm going to be looking for. If, there's some iffy stuff with academic honesty going on in your papers, AI, like ChatGPT, it just reads the same. Like it has a very formulaic thing. So this will help you identify AI generated writing, which is everywhere now these days, and shows you why it matters and helps you strengthen your own essays. So AI tools are useful for brainstorming or generating ideas, but your perspective and your voice and the things you have to say are always more important than whatever AI is going to say, okay? So AI is overly polished but shallow. So it will have perfect grammar. It'll have big words usually, but it won't really mean that much. So it'll sound really flowery, it'll look really fancy theoretically, but it's going to lack depth, it's going to lack originality, and it's going to just not be great. So this poem reflects the complexities of life through its use of imagery and innovative structure. Very much sounds like AI, where it's sounds fancy kind of, but it doesn't actually mean anything. So it's a problem because it doesn't actually explain anything. There are also things you can ask yourself, there are questions on this handout that will help you write not a robot as well. So useful little handout. The formulaic structure, it'll have super predictable patterns like a generic introduction, certain number of paragraphs, conclusions. Sentence structures are often kind of the same, and the format's just really rigid. So it's not, again, it's going to seem like it's quote unquote good, but it's not really going to mean much. So it's going to sound fluffy but not mean anything. Okay. It'll have generic and vague stuff. So good writing is always specific, and AI stuff is going to not be very specific. It's going to give broad statements. It's going to misuse evidence. I had a few papers last semester actually, where the person used AI to write their paper, and it made up lines from a poem that weren't there. So just don't expect it to know what's up too good. It will also, so it'll have the wrong quotes in it. It doesn't necessarily know what poem you're talking about. Even if you tell it, it might misquote things. And that, let me tell you, is a dead giveaway that you have used AI to write your paper, is if there are perfectly formatted quotes in there that aren't actually in the poem that you're talking about. Definitely undermines your credibility. So know that. It'll have weird repetition. It'll have weird like redundancy where it says the same thing, like uses two words that mean the same thing. It doesn't transition well. Just it doesn't connect ideas super smoothly, and it's going to have an impersonal voice, and lack individual perspective, and yeah, it'll make stuff up all day because it doesn't know any better. Okay, so these are some of the characteristics of AI composition. I did use AI to help me with this, and it was very useful. So there are good uses for it, but writing your paper is not one because it doesn't write cool papers, and we're going to write cool papers. All right, so that's what characteristics are. Here's an example essay. I hope this one loads, maybe. It does this when I grade your papers too. I just have to sit here with my thoughts while I wait for it to open. It's kind of a waste of time. Yeah, there we go. All right. So here's an AI example essay. I didn't MLA format it because I didn't, whatever. So James Baldwin's Sonny's Blues is a poignant exploration of pain, suffering, and redemption within the lives of two brothers navigating the struggles of Harlem. This is how it always sounds. The story's it sounds good theoretically, right? But it's overwritten and it doesn't actually mean that much. So one of the central themes is suffering, which is conveyed through Baldwin's powerful use of symbolism. AI is going to use tons of these extra adjectives that are not necessary. So just know that this is how it sounds. You can read this if you want to. It is exhausting to read. Baldwin it loves the word employs, symbolism, characterization, and imagery to deepen the reader's understanding of these themes. Wait, what does that even mean? And reveal the profound emotional truths. Profound employs it. So it uses these kind of $5 words for no reason that drive the narrative. So I like this story. I've read the story a bunch. Y'all will read the story. I don't really know what this thesis means. Okay. So this is what AI writing looks like. I am pretty familiar with it at this point. So I just wanted to show you, what it looks like. So that's kind of the bad of it. Now the good of it. So here are some ways that you can ethically use AI in writing assignments. This is going to take forever to load. So there are gray areas with things, right? Using Grammarly to help you with your stuff, like your grammar and your punctuation, is totally fine. If Grammarly starts suggesting things and really taking over, that's not so great. Okay. So a lot of the times these tools are useful, but can also be used they're distracting. So we want to use AI to assist your learning, not as a replacement for your effort. That's the big thing here. So you can use AI to help you brainstorm some stuff. You can ask it about different themes. It's good with that. So you can talk to ChatGPT and ask it questions. So an ethical use of using it for brainstorming would be to use the suggestions as inspiration and develop your own argument or analysis. Don't copy and paste it directly. You can also help clarify concepts. So if you're not sure what one of these literary terms means, it can give you examples of that. It can explain it in different terms. It's a good use of that. So it can help deepen your understanding for more complex terms and ideas. But you do your own analysis and you do your own research. It can also help you refine your thesis statement. By responding to your inputs, you can tell it to help you refine your thesis statement. But don't just copy and paste it. You use critical thinking, and ensure that it's ultimately your own perspective and your own thoughts that are going into this, not just using AI. Can also help you create outlines, but you need to adapt it to your needs. You can help it improve grammar and sentence structure, but I'm going to be really honest here. I like your grammar and sentence structure. It is good writing has voice. Like good writing, it comes from a perspective. It comes from a human person who is thinking about something. I don't think it's necessarily valuable to sound like a robot. So I would much rather have you send me stuff that has some weird grammar and punctuation. Who cares? Than to let AI kind of take over your voice. So your voice is cool. Your voice is more important than sounding like a robot, okay? So make sure you're not letting AI have all the power here. Unethical uses of AI are submitting AI-generated writing as your own, using it to do analysis or interpretation. It doesn't do a great job with that. It's always pretty surface level. And it is, of course, not okay to use AI to avoid the writing process entirely. So here's a checklist for AI use. And if you are going to use AI, you need to fill out an AI use report. So I did use AI to help me write this because it's really organized and stuff like that. So there are good uses of AI, but analytical thinking and writing aren't necessary, and like composing, writing, like thinking, aren't necessarily good ones. All right, so if you do want to use AI to help you on stuff, you're going to fill out an AI use report that you will submit along with your assignment. And this will take forever to load. So if you want to use AI to help you brainstorm, if the assignment says AI allowed, you can use it, but you will need to use it for the pre-approved ways, and you will also need to submit an AI use report. If you don't submit an AI use report and it's kind of clear that it's had some AI help, or there's some AI sorts of language in there, that's a gray area for academic dishonesty. So this AI use report will remind you of the policy, which we already went over. And so if you use AI in your essay writing process, you must also include an AI use report that documents how you engage with AI tools. AI helped me make this as well. So again, it's not inherently bad. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just we got to use it good. The purpose of the AI use report is to help you reflect on how you use AI as a tool in your writing process and develop transparency and accountability in your work. This report gives you the opportunity to critically evaluate, so think about the role of AI in your learning, explain your decisions and strategies for using AI, and connect its use to your overall goals of improving your analytical writing and problem-solving skills. So by documenting and reflecting on your engagement with AI, you will better understand its potential limitations while taking ownership of your academic work. So your report needs to include what you used. So describe specific ways you used AI. So did you use it to brainstorm ideas? Did you ask for help with grammar, sentence structure, word choice? Did it help organize your outline? So you need to have the tools used. So you could say, I used ChatGPT for this, or I used Grammarly for this, and why you used it. So an example would be, I asked ChatGPT to generate some themes, and I used Grammarly to proofread. That's all you would have to do for your report, is have that sentence in there for that section. Then you need to give me your prompts. So anytime you use ChatGPT or whatever, you prompt it with something. So this is like what you asked for. So when you turn in your AI use report, you should have your list of prompts. So help me generate a sample outline, that kind of thing. So make sure you're saving your prompts. I would go ahead and create your AI use report document while you're writing and not like go back and try to paste it later. So as you use the AI tool, as you write, keep track of it, like report as you go is probably a good way to do that. You also need to reflect on AI's impact. So have a little couple sentences about, did it help you clarify your ideas? Did it give you suggestions you thought were useful? And also were there limitations or inaccuracies? Like what were the problems there? And then there's an example there. And then at the end, you need to confirm that you believe that you used it ethically. So you need to actually state, I believed I used AI responsibly because I only used it for brainstorming and I didn't copy any of its responses directly. So you need to state that. So I believed I used AI responsibly. There's something valuable about saying I verify that I did something. Okay. So submit your AI use report as a separate document in the same submission folder where you submit your essay. So if you're using AI to help with your short story essay, you're going to submit your short story essay to that folder, and you're going to submit an AI use report as well to that same folder. I will grade your AI use report on completeness, transparency, and reflection. So you do not have to do this if you don't use AI, but if you do use AI, this will be part of your grade. Okay. And if you neglect to do this, it's going to be considered academic misconduct. So just know that you do need to fill out that report. Doesn't necessarily have to be something super duper long, but I will be looking for that if you used AI. Big thing. Ask questions. Like if you're not sure, if you're like, I want to use AI for this other thing that isn't on the list, that's okay. Just reach out. A good way to cover your butt is to ask questions in advance instead of, try to explain what you did when I noticed something's amiss. Okay. So, AI is definitely under a microscope. It's a composition, it's a writing class. If you turn in a just AI written paper, it's not going to go well. Just don't bother. I will not be mean to you or anything, but you can't get credit for something you didn't do. So this is more effort based than anything. Something else about this class, if you do all the stuff, if you play ball, if you answer all the discussion, if you answer most of the discussion questions and you do the best you can on the essays, you can get an A or a B in this class, even if you haven't written in a long time, even if you don't think you're a talented writer. So do the work. If you put in the effort, you will do great. You will do just fine in this class if you put in the effort. If you don't put in the effort, then you can't get the good grade. So I do kind of think of this class as being a little bit more effort-based than skill-based or talent-based. So don't use AI unless it's for it's ethically and it's in good form, and I'll be looking for it. All right. So reach out with questions about AI. I'm happy to talk to you about it. I do use it, and I do think it's interesting. And I am always curious to learn more. So